We're headed out from Haynes today.
Blessed adventure. It's a blessed adventure.
We're headed out from Haynes today. We came into Skagway, you seen earlier, took the ferry over. Spent a couple days here in Haynes. Now we're heading out. We're stopped here today at another border crossing. So we're crossing back from Alaska, back into Canada, into the Yukon territory.
Well, is this about the third time?
I think so, about the third one. We'll cross back over into Alaska, maybe not till tomorrow. And then from there, we should be in Alaska all the way till we get back to that same spot to cross back over. So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So
Yep, that's what we do.
So here's the border crossing up here. You see Karen and Glenn up in front of us. Steve and Christina are up in front of them. So
Hopefully it's another good, easy crossing. That we don't get a booger of a crossing.
yeah, hopefully it's
Every
quick,
blue moon you can get that. So
quick and easy.
hopefully
And
no
we'll-
chicken taken, no eggs taken, no nothing taken.
All right, so off we go. After crossing the border, we made our way to Tok. Tok is one of the crossroads in Alaska. It's where you cross into Alaska, and it's where you cross out of Alaska. This is a place when if you're taking guns to Alaska, you would ship them to. It's a great little town. And then we moved on from Tok and headed to Chitina. Here we are today at another falls. This is, if you can see it back there, Liberty Falls. And this is outside of Chitina, Alaska. We just made it into Tok yesterday. Made it over here to Chitina today. And man, that fall is rushing hard. I'll turn it around the other way so you can get a better view. Here's a much better view of the falls. You can see it. And here it is now. We're standing on the bridge. That water's crystal clear. Beautiful. And it flows over to this other side over here. On down, and there looks like there could be another little curvy waterfall. You can see it back in there. Pretty cool. So Karen's gonna work her way down there. Check out how cold the water is.
Nice knowing you.
She's gonna dip her hand down there and see how chilly it is. She said it's good and cold. Once we left Liberty Falls, we headed on into Chitina. We pronounced it Chitina several times until we learned the name of it was Chitina. So we came down here to the river to check out a fish wheel. We talked to the owner of this one, and he said he hasn't caught anything all week long. But if you look on there, as it comes up, there's slots. It's got a like a I don't know, like a slide that would slide the fish down over into these little cages on each side of the wheel. He said he's going to come down and move this one out. There's hose there where they're anchored, and then they have cables. So he said he's going to move it further out in the water and hopefully catch some fish. He said last year around the 12th of June is when he started catching fish. So it should be close to that time now. Once we made it to Chitina, we found out that at midnight that night was the opening night of dip netting season for resident Alaskans. So that was something we definitely wanted to see. So we made it down to the site to check it out.
Right here.
Woohoo! Oh, biggin. Oh no, get him. Oh no, get him, get him. Oh!
Fighting, man.
Did he get away?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
That was a big.
Here we are. It is 12 o'clock at night, and here we are in Chitina, Alaska. It is opening night for dip netting for the locals. You just heard us getting excited. There's a huge fish in the net, and he got out. We was hoping he would have caught it, but if you look down over the hill, you can see they're all getting their nets in, and we did see one catch already, and we seen a moose. That was kind of cool, crossing the water. So
Yeah.
this is pretty cool. This is a top highlight of our trip so far.
But you told them that they couldn't start till exactly midnight.
Yep, 12 o'clock tonight. It was opening, so they couldn't start. And right at 12, they're in the water,
They're in the water and they're lined up.
having a ball. So here's a flashback of what we saw earlier. You can see that the moose started to enter the water further out from where the dip netters were fishing. And it was like just exciting for us to be able to capture this and watch it for ourselves. Right here you see the moose come to a stop because he looks over on the shore and he hears people on the shore who are dip netting, and that's the area where he was headed. So he stopped for a minute and was startled, and then he decided to continue on across the river. When the moose gets out about middle of the river, he realizes the area he's swimming to is where there are people on the bank. So he starts to head a little further downriver. He even makes a little turn back to maybe think he's going to go the other way, and then he realizes, well, I just could go further down the river and come up on the shore a little further away from where he sees the people on the bank. So he swims a little downriver to get away from the people that are on the bank. The moose makes a successful swim across the Copper River and makes his way up on the bank, gets himself together, and then he just slowly trots off and heads on the way on across the dry bed and then out of sight. We were just fascinated, our first moose sighting, and we get to see him swimming across the Copper River in the middle of the night, which it still looks like daytime, but it's after 12 o'clock midnight. Before heading away from the dip netting site, we got an up close look at what they were catching. It's 12:54 a.m. and we just got back to the RV from watching the dip netting. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was. It was really, really neat.
So
what a neat experience.
We thought they'd be catching them a lot faster, but it was pretty cool to watch. So.
And then as we were leaving, we got to see the guy with the big salmon.
Yeah, got to see a guy with big salmon. That's true.
It was a big one.
So we're gonna get some sleep and head for some more adventures tomorrow. See ya. We got up the next day and we all headed to McCarthy. We headed down the old railroad road that led to the McCarthy stop, and then we were able to hang out there till we caught the shuttle. Here you get to catch a glimpse of Pumpkin coming across the old bridge. It was so cool to drive across. Beautiful scenery as you looked out on either side, and it was just an awesome experience that, you know, you just remember for a lifetime. That is a totally cool bridge.
Cool bridge.
That bridge is cool. As we headed down the railroad road to McCarthy, off the side of the road, we caught a glimpse of this moose. It was grazing in the side of the road. We stopped. It didn't pay us much attention for a while. It continued to graze, and then it slowly turned and made its way back up into the woods. It was kind of a neat experience for us. Thought we had the video going, but we ended up getting some pretty decent pictures until it worked its way back up into the woods, and then we continued on down the road, heading our way towards McCarthy, and then on to Kennecott. Once you arrive in McCarthy, you park on this side of this walk bridge, and then you take a walk across the walk bridge across this beautiful river and wait for the shuttle. We drove out from Chatina out to go see the little town of McCarthy and maybe Kennecott. Right here waiting on the the shuttle. There's an old truck that was built by an old pioneer that was in this area. They call it rigor mortis. You can see it's made out of a old truck. He's got the engine sitting back here on the back, and then a set of axles that they must have used in the wintertime that got belts and metal for snow plowing, I guess. Interesting. So we're gonna go over and check out the town and see how it goes. Whole group's here. We're just waiting on the shuttle. We got the fellas up here checking out the truck. Ladies hanging out over there waiting on the shuttle with the dogs. And this is some information on the truck. If you want to read that, you can. Just pause it and read it. Here we are in Kennecott, and we're just outside the Kennecott mines. These were the copper mines that they used back, I think they said in the 1800s. They mined $100 million out of the mine here, out of that building, and then a 4-stage process. This is a beautiful stream that runs down in town. You can see all the way back up there. There's my baby. She was just down by the water. Now she's coming up. So this is an area where the town is. This is actually the old railroad track that used to run. That's the road we came in. This is a railroad track that they built. I think they said 300 miles of railroad, and they brought it right out of there. And The road we drove in on and the road that leads to this town is right here. And when the mine closed, they came through. They just took all the railroad track up and threw it to the side of the road and then covered the road with gravel. If I remember, when I walk back down there, I'll show you. You can see all the old railroad track laying up against the woods and in the woods. And this is the view up here. It is absolutely stunning. They offer glacier tours, ice climbing, tours of the mine, and everything right up here out of this little town of Kennecott. This is absolutely a beautiful place. There's one of the park rangers. What do you think of this place, Mom?
It was very neat, especially being a national park. I just never heard of it, and it's really neat.
Yeah, it's part of the St. Elias St. Elias National Park. So,
Yes.
beautiful place.
During the summer, they say they do get a lot of visitors. It's a remote place, but people have definitely found it.
Yeah, very beautiful. Just discovered that goes all the way back, and then there you can see the upper falls right back there. And there's a bridge that looks like goes over top of it. That's just gorgeous. And as it comes up under the bridge, it goes down and it works its way down through there, out to that beautiful scenery. Pretty awesome. I mentioned earlier some of the old railroad tracks, so here's some of it here that's just been tossed over to the side on this side. And then there's plenty on the other side that goes into the woods as we go back down the road. If you make it to Alaska, a trip to Chitina, and then an excursion out to McCarthy and Kennecott is definitely something that I recommend you do. This is a beautiful town that the National Park is putting a lot of money into to refurbish to make it into a beautiful site. They also have a lodge that you can come stay in, and you can schedule all kinds of outdoor activities. And there's places to get something to eat, and just a beautiful place to check out. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for following along. We'd like to just thank all you loyal watchers and all you watchers that come along and watch from time to time. Again, if you just watch from time to time, hit that subscribe button so you can become a subscriber and be notified if you hit the notification bell when we post our next video. Thank you for following along. Have a blessed day, and thank you for following along with Noel's Blessed Adventures.